Hey guys, Travis Randall here. Welcome to the first numero uno edition of Hooked, the podcast. I'm Travis Randall. This is
Johnathan Dominguez.
Hey guys, we are super excited to bring you this podcast. It's something we've been working on for quite some time. It's sponsored by Eco Fishing Shop. We are here in beautiful Lake of the Ozarks at our storefront location, and we are just excited to bring this podcast to you.
We are. We have talked about this for months now, and slowly gotten all the pieces together. But we're here. So we're hooked. The Kayak Anglers Resource Podcast, and we're here to do exactly that. Just be a resource for kayak anglers.
Absolutely. This is going to be our first episode, so we're going to kind of just go over an introduction of who we are and what we do here, and what Eco Fishing Shop does. Eco Fishing Shop is our sponsor, but this podcast is a standalone. We are really trying to be the Kayak Anglers Resource, where if you have a local shop or other anglers in your area that you're using as well as resources, we totally get that, and we're excited about just being part of the community. That being said, we want to go ahead and let everybody know who our sponsor is. We actually both work for Eco as well, so it does matter because they pay the bills. So this is our storefront location in Camdenton, Missouri. So we opened this location a little over a year ago, and we carry some beautiful lines here. We are kayak fishing only. We don't do any recreational kayaks. Eco Fishing Shop's really known for shipping kayaks. We ship anywhere in the lower 48 free of charge, no tax unless you're in Missouri or Arkansas, and then $350 in Arkansas, Alaska or Hawaii. And we do a great job with that. We're known because we don't use forklifts. We use like furniture moving companies like Fragile Pack. Everything's kind of white glove service, so you're more guaranteed that when your kayak lands, there's not going to be damage. So that being said, the next progression to Eco Fishing Shop was to open a storefront. I'd like to think we have probably the nicest and largest kayak shop in the Midwest for sure. We carry several different lines and have anywhere from 35 to 40 boats on the floor that you can come get in. Johnathan does a lot of our demos and product reviews and things like that, where if you were to decide on a couple of different kayaks, you can go out and get them in the water. There's just, we really want to be a true resource to the angler at Eco Fishing Shop and on this podcast, where we're really trying to suit the needs of the angler.
Absolutely. We're here, and our backyard is Lake of the Ozarks, and it's almost a staple for the Midwest. Just a beautiful lake, great fishing. During summertime, it definitely is, a more pleasure lake. We get a lot of people out there, hanging out, enjoying the water, but we could not ask for a better location than here in the Midwest.
Absolutely not. We're an hour basically away from Table Rock, Pomme de Terre, Truman, Stockton, not to mention the fact that river fishing is huge, and we sell boats for both categories or something in the middle for either or, because we have the Niangua, the James, the Finley, the Merrimack, the Current, the Gasconade. There's a ton of rivers around here as well. We both love to fish both of those, and so that's kind of what we figure out from the angler and what they're looking to get out of a kayak.
So let's jump into that more as far as who we are and where we kind of fall into that category. Like I said, my name's Johnathan. I grew up in New Mexico, and I live here in Missouri now, and I've fished kayak tournaments for about 3 years now. It definitely did not start where I am today. It's been a slow progression as far as kayaks. I've owned numerous kayaks, and now fishing for the shop out of a feel free, and starting out day one, it's completely different than where I'm at now. I started in a Ascend like most people, and nothing wrong with the boat. It's just there's some better fishing boats out there, and that's what we try and focus on is the fishing side of kayaking. There's plenty of kayak shops and vendors and whatnot that sell recreational kayaks, and not that we don't want to. We just want to focus on the fishing stuff. We want to focus on those kayaks that get you on the water, that may be more stable, that may be more set up for fishing, and we want to be that resource. will do just about anything in this shop to help you get to that point, whether it's answering questions or getting you a product or maybe even rigging up your boat. We're deep in this. We're invested. It's a good spot to be in, and we're excited about that.
Absolutely. And Johnathan's a little modest. Johnathan's been doing some tournaments. We brought Johnathan on as one of our pro staffers. He's finished his last 2 tournaments in the top 5 out of almost a couple hundred anglers between the 2 tournaments.
Yeah, we had 89 at Truman and I think 80-something at Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah, Johnathan's done real well. We have eight pro staffers here. We'll have them on intermittently through our episodes. My name is Travis Randall. I am on the other side of that. I am kind of just your recreational kayak fisherman. I've been fishing for years. A good friend of mine, shout out to Brian Nestor. He left his kayak at my house years ago. I threw it on the water. Went fishing crappie, 6-pound test, crappie rod, landed an 18-pound striper, fought it for 45 minutes, fell in love with the sport. That's been 20 years ago, and I've been doing it ever since. I enjoy it. I do a tournament now and then, but really my love is just being on the water. Started out, grew up in western Kansas, moved to Lake of the Ozarks, had several different business dealings, and then ended up going to work for Caleb and Jared here at Eco Fishing Shop. Opened this shop for them, and absolutely love what we do here and the whole thought process behind what we do. And that is, like I said, the business comes if you just take care of people, and that's what we really do. Johnathan's 100% correct. I mean, we've had people come in and say, I've just never been in one before. We said, well, before you make a decision, let's put you in one. Let's go figure it out. And we love what we do, and we have fun doing it.
Yep, every day. It's been really, I'm still new to Eco Fishing Shop, but every day's been something new, something exciting, and something that I am passionate about just as much as that person or that kayak or whoever, whatever the situation is. It's really cool to see experienced anglers come in here and talk to us. And then just the guys like, hey, I've never been in a kayak. And just to see their face light up like, you can do that? This is available? Like, it's amazing. It's really cool where the sport's at and where the industry is going.
Absolutely. We sell a lot of kayaks to people 65 and older that are just getting into it. I absolutely love that. And then we also, we really focus on the entry-level guy. Our podcast is going to do a little bit of the same. I mean, we're going to really focus on what is the barrier to entry for a guy who says, you know what, I really want to do that. All he has is an SUV or a small truck or whatever, and he doesn't want a bass boat or doesn't want to invest that kind of money, and gas prices just ain't great. So, we love those guys that want to actually start doing some local trails. We also really support all of our local trails, not one in particular, every one of them. They all do a great job, and we want to really push people that way. And there may be guys who just want to do 1 or 2 tournaments a year. But it's exciting, it's fun, and we can help them get into it. This podcast is really going to go over some of that. I've got a good friend, Tron Young, that's going to we've already kind of got him a kayak picked out. He's never kayaked before. He's never fished really before. But he's going to kind of be our guinea pig and let us chronicle how he got started, what equipment he chose, why he chose that equipment, how we helped him choose that equipment, and hopefully he's on the pro staff next year.
That would be sweet.
Absolutely.
So, backing up to Eco Fishing Shop, let's talk about them. We've talked about our background, but let's talk about them and what kind of has been their bread and butter. And Eco Fishing Shop is probably one of the largest companies shipping a kayak across the U.S., also to Hawaii and Alaska. They've really set the bar high for shipping a kayak. Like you mentioned, we use a company that's literally hand loading. They're not forklift. They're not damaging kayaks. They're literally hand loading and unloading kayaks and deliver them to your door, and that's at no cost.
Absolutely. And, that's just been the business model. We've done great at that, and really just surpassed any competition when it comes to it. I mean, really keeping a focus on getting a quality product to the customer without damage. This shop has been kind of the next progression of that. And the lines that we carry here, I really think are just beyond what you see in most kayak shops. We have Van Hunt's, which we always say is the one of the best kayaks you've never heard of. We have Feel Free. We have Three Waters. we have Sea Stream, we have, excuse me, we have New Canoe, we have Old Town, we have Jackson, we have Hobie. We have some really good lines here and really can fit any spectrum for any body of water for any size angler. And that's one thing the shop has done for us. It's also helped us step up our game on our online sales, because if someone online calls and says, well, I'd like a Sportsman 120, but I really need to know what is the distance between the top of the seat to the bottom of the deck. I grab a tape measure, I measure it, they have that information. It's not something that is you're waiting online for a customer service person or an email or something to come to you. You can get those answers relatively quick because our online customer service folks call here every day and ask, hey, what's the length on a prop on a MK 106? We can answer those questions and really just want to be a resource to the angler.
Yeah, we really are fortunate as far as the online sales to be a direct communication between, us and them. Our customer service team, guys on the online stuff when they place their orders, and we'll talk about the Eco Fanatics page here in a second, but when people place their orders and get to talk to a customer service representative, they are beyond speechless on how well we have taken care of them on that part. Granted, we may run into issues with carriers and stuff like that, but as far as customer service, they really do a great job here. We've actually got a guy that works here out of the storefront as well occasionally, yep. And he can literally walk downstairs and look at the kayaks and literally answer questions before anybody else can even think about how they're going to answer that. Like, it's amazing.
Absolutely. It's not somebody going on to the website and trying to figure out off the spec sheet. It's somebody that can put their hands on the kayak, which is actually what you're looking for when you're talking about some of the above and beyond stuff. We have guys that are looking to put motor mounts on a kayak, and you know how it is when you have one brand that you're trying to connect to another brand. A lot of times, neither brand's going to give you the information you need, but we can get that here. We also really focus on the customer. We have customers that call our store here. They're looking for online, and I get it all the time. I just want to make sure this place is real. I want to make sure it's not a scam because it's online. And then they feel really comfortable because they call here and they know that we have a storefront and that they can call anywhere. We're going to do whatever it takes. I'm not going to send them on to the online guys. I'm going to see what I can do to help them. Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about more about what we want to do here. Of course, we want to be the Kayak Anglers Resource, but we also want to do some product reviews. We want to talk to kayak anglers, whether they're pro staff members with us or maybe it's just their first kayak. We want to talk about how they can get involved, how they can get in touch with us, what opportunities they have with them. And so one of the cool things that we've got going on is also, it's called the Kayak Anglers Resource. It's hooked. It is a forum that we have online, and we'll link this in the description and get you guys access to that. But you can literally go on there and create your own topic, create your own questions, create your own, tab or whatever you want to call it, specific to what you want to know and what you want to read about. And to get on there and to have a community there and to be able to talk to other anglers that are doing the same things you are and get a fresh, thought process or maybe idea is awesome. So, we do have the ability to contact us directly, but sometimes a lot of those questions can get answered on there.
Absolutely. I mean, you can put Jackson Bite motor ideas, and there may be 25 other guys in the country that have that same thought in their head that are going to, get into that forum with you, kind of knock things around, maybe ask questions, but it gives the opportunity for the anglers to talk to the anglers, not just us. And that's a huge resource for us. We've learned most of the things that we've dealt with by dealing with you guys and the guys that know what they've been doing because of just tried and true work. So we appreciate it.
On top of that, of course, we have our Facebook pages. We've got two different ones. We've got regular Eco Fishing Shop Facebook page, and then we also have an Eco Fanatics page. So, the great thing about that forum is maybe someone's not involved in Facebook. Maybe they don't have a Facebook page. Maybe they are tired of all the nonsense in the world and they don't want to be on Facebook. So the forum's a great avenue. But say if you are on Facebook, you can get onto that Eco Fanatics page. The nice part, I guess the privileged part about that Eco Fanatics page is it's customers. It's people that have made purchases with us that get access to that that have that ability to talk to other eco fishing customers. So hey, I just ordered a Van Hunk and I'm waiting on shipping. What's to expect when expecting a Van Hunk? So it's really cool that those customers can talk to each other on there as well.
Absolutely. And this podcast will be, this first episode is going to be really just an introduction to us and who we are and who Eco Fishing Shop is. But moving forward, we're going to do some unboxings, what to expect when you get your new Van Hunk shad, from cutting the plastic open to setting it up, kind of going through just the basics of any kayak that we have. We'll also do some product demonstrations, some product reviews. We've got Robbie Brewer, who is one of our pro staffers and does do some Instagram and social media stuff for us, that's going to do some tackle tips for us. Like I said, Sharon Young, we're going to chronicle kind of the newbie guide to getting into the sport, whether that be getting into fishing on your local pond or to getting into actually doing some tournament trails and some things that you want to do there. We're going to really kind of do some of those things on this podcast. And maybe even do some when Johnathan does some demos with customers, getting some of that on film and just seeing some of the things that a brand new kayaker goes through when making a decision on how to get into the sport.
Yeah, there's definitely tons of questions and comments that guys can ask and talk about, and we kind of hope that we can answer some of those. We may not have all the answers, but maybe there's something that we talk about in a future episode that would relate directly to you.
Absolutely. And one thing we'll do at the end of this, the end of the episode, we're going to give all of our contact information. If you guys want to reach out to us via direct message, email, text message, phone call, whatever you want to do, guys, we would love to hear from you. We would love to hear about products that are in your area or trails and different ways they're running them, to hurdles that that you had to go through to get into your kayak. Maybe it's horror stories on kayaks that you started with when you should have went to this one, or maybe it's positive stories about this is where I started and this was perfect. So we're really anxious to hear from you guys on those things.
Absolutely. So like you said, we'll put of course it's ecofishingshop.com. You're more than welcome to go on that and see any of our products or anything like that. We've got the hook, the Kayak Anglers Resource, the forum. We'll put our contacts on here as well, whether that's Instagram or email or phone, whatever works best for you all. But, I mean, I know that I look forward to talking to somebody about a kayak. And so if that's something that you want to talk to, just, shoot the breeze about something that you've been thinking about or a boat you've been looking at, that, we want to be those guys. Absolutely. This is our passion, guys. I mean, we love doing this. Anybody can go look and see who was on the top, but I get more excited about talking to the people who just want to get in it, who are just want to start and just want to know where to start. I remember when I started and asking guys, and they're like, well, I take 8 rods. I'm like, 8 rods? What are you talking about? I have 2 rods. And understanding that, tackle management in your kayak and rod holders. And I tell everybody in the shop here when they come in, I'm the world's worst accessory salesman, because when they come in, they're like, so I bought my first kayak. What all do I need? Well, get it on the water. Figure out what you need. We got everything you need plus. So we really enjoy the whole aspect of it, from the day you bought your boat to the day you caught your first fish to the first time you got in a tournament to hopefully the first time you win one. It was really cool. Earlier today, we made a delivery to a guy, and he came in over the weekend, made a purchase on a kayak. He actually got a Sportsman, an Old Town Sportsman, and we got to deliver it to him today, and it was really cool because he turned around, he took it out on the water, and then he sent you a text. Yeah, we delivered it to him at noon. This gentleman was down for a conference here at Lake of the Ozarks. He's a police officer in Columbia, Missouri. Shout out to Adam. And he said Monday's the only day I'm off. So I said, we're closed on Monday, but I'm going to take it to you. So we met him up there, dropped him off at noon. Johnathan and I came back, stopped B-dubs, had a little bit of lunch. And by the time we got done eating our lunch, I had pictures of bass. And he's like, this thing is amazing. Guys, that's what I live for, man. That's the funnest stuff ever. He had an Ascend 10 before that, and he was like, I'm not sure if the sport's for me. I said, you got to get the right kayak.
and he's sold. He's going to be doing a lot of fishing, and I look forward to seeing how he progresses.
Ultimately, that's what it's about, is about getting on the water, enjoying that time. Whether it's catching fish or not, we look forward to hearing that story. We look forward to hearing that individual coming back and say, hey, oh my gosh, this has been a great time. And to me, we sat in the truck and we looked at each other, and I'm like, that's what it's all about, man.
100%. We both had smiles on our face, high fives all around.
Well, speaking of, getting into some tournaments, we've got some pretty big news that we've released a couple weeks ago. We are hosting a tournament here at Lake of the Ozark. It is called the Big Bass 250. We've already got some controversy, but we've also got some guys that are really excited about it. And let's jump into that. I know this is our first podcast, but I think we're going to talk about this quite a bit between now and November 5th, which is when the tournament is. Basically, it's a $250 entry, and unlike most tournaments, it's going to pay out $10,000 for one fish. It's going to pay another $10,000 for first place, and to me, to be able to fish for that amount of money is amazing.
Absolutely, and it's an open, so you can come buy a kayak here on November 4th or Walmart on November 4th. Yeah. And get into this tournament. It is a kayak-only tournament, but it is open to anybody who wants to get into it. Best 5 fish, $10,000. Best or big bass, $10,000. So if you got best 5 fish and one of them is big bass, that's 20 G's in your pocket. So we're paying 1st through 10th, so there's going to be a lot of money given away on this deal. Also, there's going to be a lot of giveaways. I mean, we've got anything from full Bixby setups to kayaks to accessories to a little bit of everything when it comes to giveaways. We are going to have it at a nice venue that's still to be determined because we're trying to lock that down, but it'll be at a nice venue where we'll end up having the award ceremony. We'll also feed everybody. That includes wives and kids, whoever wants to come afterwards. We really want to turn this into a destination event, something where people really just have fun and have the chance. Every angler has a chance at that one fish. Everybody's one fish away from $10,000.
Lake of the Ozark is known for the Big Bass Bash, and they're known for that kind of all I need is one fish, but there's no true kayak tournament like that. There's some that may be paying out hourly big bass pots and stuff like that, but there's no tournament that I've heard of that is paying that much money for one fish, and that can literally change, the rest of your career. I mean, if, depending on what you're fishing out of, I mean, maybe you're out of a Old Town, and Old Town says, hey, man, congratulations. We'd like to be more involved with you in your success. It really could open up a lot of doors for you as well.
100%, and we're excited to bring it to you guys. We've budgeted this thing down to the penny where everything goes back into it. I know that after the fees and the payouts that we have right now, there is money left over. Guys, do know that money is going to wrap right back into it after we figure out the venue, the marketing, and the
we got food to pay for.
We
got workers to pay for. We're actually hiring judges to do this.
Yeah, hired judges, not affiliated with us or Eco Fishing Shop. We're hiring a polygrapher to do some of the winners there, so we guarantee that everything is fair. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And then whatever money that we figure out closer to is left over, we're going to roll that back in. And I don't know if it's going to be for hourly big bass, which is probably where we're going to go with it because that seems to be the consensus that people really enjoy, or if that'll go into products so we can give away more kayaks or what it's going to be. But guys, just do know that this kayak tournament is for the angler, and it's really focused for every angler. We have sold kayaks to people that have just joined it, that have never kayak fished before, that are already in it. It is going to be on Tourney X, and you'll see a lot of hype on this tournament coming up. I know we're going to be on Kayak Bass Nation. Those guys are really awesome, and we're going to be doing some stuff with them, and also Paddle and Fin. Some of those guys are really excited to hear about it, and we're excited to be part of it and bring it to all the anglers.
So it's really easy. You can go to ecofishingshop.com. You'll go on there and pay for your tournament fee there. Like you said, it's $250 to entry. Once you've paid from there, you will get an email with an invoice. On that invoice, it'll have a password. What you got to do is you got to take that password over to TourneyX, type in that password once you register for that event, and then you're in there. It's basically that simple. You just go to, like I said, ecofishing.com, get paid there, and then you can get on to TourneyX, and then you'll see your name on the leaderboard. I know that we've already had some guys talk about how exciting it would be to fish this, and maybe they don't have a kayak or don't have a way to get a kayak here. But, Travis and I were talking. I won't be able to fish it. Travis has got a boat. I've got 2 boats, so we'll find a way to get a guy on a boat if he really wants to fish it.
Actually, absolutely. We've got guys already that are signed up from Utah and Alabama and different places. Guys, if you want in this tournament, give me a shout. I want anybody and everybody. I'm hoping to get some bigger names in it. But, brother, I just want to see just anybody and everybody who wants to do this, do it. We have several guys that say, hey, what an awesome first tournament experience. Absolutely. And that have gotten into it.
Yes.
And, you can definitely find some tournaments that are, $25 or $50 to get into. And I suggest doing those as well. We're not trying to take it away from any other series or trail. It's not our intent. I worked very close with those guys locally to make sure that my dates and everything were completely away from them. And anybody fearful of Lake of the Ozarks and some of the tournaments, that's why we did November. We get kind of past the big boat season. Also, when we did our regatta permits, we made sure that there's not a lot of tournaments going on that week. So I think it's just going to be a great time to be on the water. Lake of the Ozarks is notorious for monster bass in November. So it should be a lot of fun, and we look forward to anybody and everybody that wants to come. And like Johnathan said, give us a ring, man. We'll get you in something.
It should be a good event. I can't wait to see the guys and how they turn out, and just going to the awards, meeting and all that. And it'd be really cool to get everybody together and just talk about their day and really hear how that guy won it, and how 100%. Big bass was caught, and it'll be a good time.
And that's one thing that we really want to focus on with this, and that's why there is some money being spent in other places. I don't want a totally online tournament. I don't want it to be where a few people show up at the end just to see what giveaways they are. I want, at the end of the tournament, I want to have as many people as possible where we can do more of a big bass boat or Bass Pro style rewards banquet where we're bringing guys up on stage. We're really having a lot of fun with it, and hopefully we can grow this for years to come with way bigger money, and bringing guys in from just all over and making it where guys are just like, I do all these different tournaments throughout the year, or I do one tournament every year.
Yes.
And that is the Big Bass 250.
We want to be on your calendar every year.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's all we have for this first episode. I think we're going to leave it at that and leave the suspense and what we've got coming down the pipeline. I'm very excited, man.
So am I, guys. So glad to be here. So glad to be part of Eco Fishing Shop. So glad to have a partner like this. We're good to go. Hope you are too.
Guys, if you guys need anything, reach out to us. Call the store, call us online, email us, text us, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you got. Get a hold of us if you need anything.
Hopefully you're hooked.